that is very important because the momentum is really increasing for us now with agentic AI and whether it's our own CPU or our partners. Very significant announcement took place last month where Google announced for their TPU 8T and 8i that the head node, the CPU that interfaces into the accelerators, is going to move from x86 to Axion, which is their internal chip, using ARM Neoverse. 60% less power at the same performance. Andy Jassy had a great quote, I think one of the earnings calls, that basically said for Graviton, we had two customers say, can we buy everything that you have? Graviton now has more than half of their design starts are based on Graviton versus x86. From a few years ago, that was 0. And of course, NVIDIA, who announced Vera, amazing partners. Vera is an amazing product. The list of partners is far larger than here. I didn't have a slide big enough for all of them. But NVIDIA's had a tremendous momentum with Vera. So, what were we talking about? RTX Spark. RTX Spark, how was it going to be different this time?
Well, we wanted to reinvent the computer. You know, the PC has been here for 40 years, and the operating system, code written by hand, is now going to be replaced with applications that are agentic. Now, these agentic systems, agentic AIs, will use the PC, will use the tools in the PC. And so, when we imagined this future, we thought, let's see, well, how would we change the architecture? And how would we change the operating system? And reinvent the computer? And you know, that's kind of where we are. And so one of the things that we realized is that an agentic system really wants to have excellent CPUs, which is the reason why we use ARM, and it has a 20-core CPU. It has to have excellent single-threaded performance. The parameters, the memory has to hold a lot of parameters, and so we created a new numerical format called NVFP4 so that we can compress the large language models as much as possible, fit a very smart AI into the system memory. When you look at the RTX Spark PC, it's got 128 gigabytes of memory. If it was completely compressed into NVFP4, then you can have a 100 billion parameter model working on your PC all the time. And a 100 billion parameter open model, say Nemotron 3 Super, say, that's a really, really good model. And so it could do a lot of the basic work, and whatever deep thinking and frontier model that you need to use is just connected to the cloud anyhow.
Do you think that changes what happens in the cloud in terms of this classic client cloud model? Do I need as much compute in the cloud versus in the client, or do you think there's just so much compute that needs to get done?
These agents are going to be, you have agents and sub-agents and teams of agents. They're going to be working in the cloud. They're going to be working on devices. And so it's just like today in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Mobile cloud is not cloud only, not mobile only. It's mobile and cloud. And so it allows you to have a really great personal computing experience, you know, your own experience. But whatever you need to connect to the cloud, you will. You know, my sense is that at this point it's a foregone conclusion that what is a trillion-dollar, multi-trillion-dollar industry is likely 10 times larger.
Yeah.
And so
we're on our way to, and that's why NVIDIA is the largest market cap company in the world. And if you combine the two companies, we're the largest in the world. I love that. I love that. That's such a great idea.
Is the most efficient, and we produce the lowest cost tokens in the world. Okay, and so that was a big breakthrough, and now people understand that. That you want very advanced systems to generate tokens at very low cost. Vera Rubin took, of course, all of that, and we extended it to run agents. At first, when I said that 2 years ago, most people had a hard time understanding what that meant, but now they realize that an agent is orchestrating thinking, is using tools, it's accessing long-term memory, it's dealing with short-term memory, you know, working memory, and it's compacting, doing memory compaction to remember, to think about what should I remember for the future, how do I index SQL memory, how do I index structured memory, how do I index unstructured memory, and so how do I deal with all of that? That agentic system
is what Vera Rubin is, and it's a large system. And so people are now starting to understand that when we were thinking about agentic systems, we were really thinking of a new computing application pattern, and that it really requires a new architecture. Well, now the big breakthrough, of course, these agents now are producing useful AI. And that's the reason why all of our growth, right? Your growth, my growth, is just so incredible, because when AI becomes useful, then the tokens that are being generated are profitable. And when token generation is profitable, everybody wants to generate 1 trillion times more token. The other part is that the agent, the application, this agent compute pattern is 1,000 times, maybe 100,000 times, and depending on the work, it's 1,000,000 times more than chatting. And so you could see that the agents are working, they're working for minutes, hours, sometimes days, sometimes weeks. And so instead of a chatbot which responds from one click, now the AI is thinking, using tools, reading, thinking some more, planning, trying. And so the amount of tokens that we have to generate has increased tremendously. The profitability of the tokens obviously is driving the demand. So the compound effect of need more compute with more demand, that compound effect is what you and I are experiencing. And so we're seeing constraints almost everywhere. In our case, we were fortunate that we planned. One of the best things about ARM is that they don't have to worry about the supply chain. The supply chain of IP is electrons, and you can use as many electrons as you need. Okay? And so I love his business model. As you know, I tried to. I tried to become ARM.
We were willing.
I was trying to become ARM.
We were willing.
Rene and I used to work together, and then we tried to work together again. But anyways, that was okay. I'm sad still. I'm a little sad. But this is a happy meeting. So my point is, in our case, we saw agents coming, and we saw.
We're younger. I have to tell you, I think I aged better.